Podcast, Episode 9 with Colin and Olga. This week we talk with EFREM SCHULZ from Death by Stereo, whose new album, We're All Dying Just in Time, comes out on August 7th, 2020, with an album release live concert stream on August 4th, 2020. Welcome to the show.
We should introduce ourselves.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Olga. I'm the one who has been messaging you. And we just started this podcast this year, and then the pandemic happened. So we've been trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Just like everyone else is. Yeah.
I had a Neil Faded podcast myself. We haven't come back since. So
yeah.
And nice to meet you, sort of.
I'm Colin. We did actually, I interviewed you once in 2001 when a Day of the Death came out.
Wow.
And it was for Zero magazine. And another funny story was that, I was the writer, Olga was the photographer, and we went to a show at Palookaville in Santa Cruz to check your band out. She took live shots, and I wrote a live review.
Palookaville.
Yeah.
Were we there with Sick of It All?
It might have been Sick of It All. It could have been Good Riddance. I can't remember the exact show.
I remember being at Palookaville with Good Riddance. I also remember there being with Sick of It All, and we were playing wall ball outside. A lot of memories. I remember I threw a trash can across that entire dance floor. We can get into that, I guess.
Yeah. But we brought you on because we were just talking about you the other day. We were like, wonder what Death by Stereo is doing, blah, 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 blah. And then Olga's like, well, why don't I just go ask them? I'm like,
yeah, we know.
Go do it. Just ask them.
Well, what we do is we kind of talk about new music because we can't play music, but then people can go find it on their own. So we just kind of introduce people to what's going on and update them on releases. And then I saw that you guys have a release this year. And then Colin was like, we should talk to them about it. And I'm like, I'm like, if they say no, they'll say no, or they won't reply to us. But yes. So we just talked about there's a new song, and we talked about it on our last episode. And we know that there's a new album, and you guys are planning a CD release on August 4th.
7th.
And
the CD release party's on the 4th. It comes out. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I was like, what? I have the wrong info. Okay.
Ask you. I was like, I see this sign right in front of my face. It's today it's July 30th. 4 days, 22 hours, 57 minutes. I got this countdown timer. I bought tickets. I got the CD in the mail. You're signing it, so thank you.
No problem.
So what's going on?
Just trying to get through these insane times, and seems like a large amount of people in California are acting like idiots, and we are fighting for our civil rights right now. Things are crazy. Fighting for civil rights in a pandemic is a pretty wild idea. And I keep saying it, with the pandemic and everything that's going on, all the punk songs came true.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, you started, this album is like 8 years in the making, pretty much.
Yeah, we had an EP since the last full length. And we toured a ton in that time. It's just that we're all in like 20 different bands. So everybody was making different records with different bands. And like, it just took us so long to get to it. But we wrote a bunch of songs. I mean, we have songs beyond this record we're working on too. So it took a long time to get to this full length, but it's going to be a very short time until the next one because we wrote so much.
Oh, that's
so awesome. It's pretty exciting. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, We're All Dying Just in Time. That's the one we're talking about right now.
Yes, sir.
And you guys, I just got Spotify, and I see you released 3 singles already from the album. Is that?
Yes, sir.
So I just think of it as classic DBS, man. I'm just like, this is coming right at me hard. Is that what I should be expecting all the way through? Just blasts?
It gets really hard and heavy, and we kind of reached out there and kind of took it in a little bit of a weirder direction, I feel like, and we're just we've always kind of shook off boundaries, but right now we literally wrote it with a complete, just, I don't give a fuck attitude. And we're just going to do from here on out. I mean, it's been so long and we never really listened or subscribed to what anybody wanted us to do, but we are especially in that mode right now. And we're riding in the direction of just our own truth and our own happiness and our own pursuit of finding new sounds and new ideas. And I think we're, for as much as we relate to Sick of It All and the Circle Jerks and Suicidal Tendencies, we relate to Faith No More, you know? So, I mean, we're really just pushing boundaries and trying new things and ideas. And I think this song is a 10 song blast. This new album's a 10 song blast of that, just in your face. Boom. You know, so we're pushing hard at it. And I mean, we did have a lot of touring booked around the record, which obviously, like everyone else, we had to cancel.
Yeah.
But as soon as things come back, I mean, we're going hard at this and really going to try and get out there and play for everyone we can.
And
That's
on
great to
August
hear.
4th, you have the live show CD release party live stream.
Yes, sir.
What can we expect coming through our screens?
Well, 5 really ugly guys. We partnered up. Our good friend Kathy Mason, who is the tour manager of one of my other bands, Manic Hispanic, and she manages our drummer's band, The Adolescents. And she partnered up with a company called Social Sanctuary, and they created a venue where everyone can be distanced and you can experience the feel of playing on a giant festival stage with all that production and craziness and lights and LEDs and all that, and have it be a total sterile environment where they have a minimal crew that can run everything and they're all isolated from the band. And she linked us up with them and we were able to put together this idea, and it's a very thought out, put together themed show where, I mean, even down to the colors of the lights will reflect the colors of each album cover of each song we play. It's, yeah, we really put a lot of thought into this. We've been working on this for a while. We've had, you know, these Zoom calls with like 15 different people, you know, doing production meetings. We really went deep into this. This company usually does shows with, you know, DJs and EM type projects, and they you know, they utilize that type of production. And Kathy thought it'd be cool to apply that to a hardcore band, you know, like, and we were like, dude, that's dope. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. So we've been working on our set. We are playing songs from every record and EP we've ever released. And in that set, we'll be playing 4 songs off the new album. And it's just a bomb blast of DBS, you know, in your face.
Awesome.
It's, you know, DBS has always been an energy exchange with, you know, with other people. So we had to wrap around our heads around how do we exchange that energy. And we just said, you know what, we just need to go back to who we were before we even played for anybody. The energy exchange is between us as friends and people that share the same ideas. And so we've had some rehearsals for this, and we've just kind of been going off by ourselves, you know, and I'm just bouncing off the walls, and we have, you know, pent up energy.
Yeah.
So we're just going to express that on camera. And you know, it's a unique opportunity for us to play for people anywhere in the world. It's you know, it's playing at 5 p.m. Pacific time, but you can literally, anyone that gets a ticket can watch it anywhere in the world anytime they want, and you get to replay it as many times as you want for a week. And we thought that was something really important, you know. And and we also knew it was a way to, you know, we weren't really money motivated behind it, but they kind of told us, well, you can do this, you guys lost your jobs, like, you guys should do something to make a couple bucks. And we didn't even really think of that at first. We just wanted to jam, but we're really grateful that they gave us this opportunity to do that, because, you know, just like everybody else, man, we're all just kind of up a shit's fucking creek right now. You know what I mean? We don't have a job. So we are very grateful to Kathy Mason and Social Sanctuary, and the ticketing company is called Veeps, VEEPS. They they all gave us a great opportunity, and we're really grateful. And we're grateful to everyone, people like yourself, that supported us and bought a ticket, because dang, dude, like, you know, it's tough times right now, you know.
Yeah.
We'll be
I'm
there.
curious.
Let me plug it. deathbystereo.veeps.com. Go there, get your tickets, get the album. I did it. Olga's doing it.
Yep.
We're gonna be there. We're gonna be watching.
Yeah, I'm
And it's
really
gonna be
excited
awesome.
about it, especially because as music fans, we do miss. We've been talking for months about all these live streams that we've been watching here and there, and they were kind of fun in the beginning, but it's kind of getting to the point where, you know, it's not the same, and you just miss going to shows. So when I see ones where there's like actual production or better, you know, sound, better lighting, it's a little bit more exciting, because it was really fun for a while to see people in their bedrooms and see what everyone's bedroom looks like, and it was so personalized. But it's also like, I don't know, it just feels really weird to be like in your pajamas and they're practically in their pajamas. And it had a really interesting, it was really fun in the beginning, but now I'm feeling kind of like burnt out from it. I'm wondering if you've seen other live streams, or if you've been watching, you know, other bands, or how did you get on board with doing a CD release show kind of like this remotely? Was that something you immediately were like, let's do this, or were you guys hesitating for a while too?
You know, a lot of our friends were doing these, you know, jams from their rooms. You see the 4 little squares, everybody jamming, and it was cool. And we had finished the record, and we were getting ready to go on tour behind it, and we were about to shoot 3 music videos for it. And then we were at the time, none of us had been isolated long enough to be near each other, or had gotten our tests, and which we've all done since then. But everybody's making music videos the same way too. 4 squares, and everybody's just in their square at home, you know, and it was really cool. But we didn't know what to do, and it was the same thing you're saying. We did see everyone doing it, and a couple of the guys have had a couple jams like that, and I've been invited to a couple, and I just haven't done them yet. But we wanted to do something different, and our bedrooms aren't that exciting as other people's, and so
acoustic EFREM. La 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 la.
And the thing with Death by Stereo is, all of us trying to do things alone, we just kind of figured we needed, if we're going to do these kind of jam sessions or solo jams, like, it can't be Death by Stereo, because we're not really like acoustic friendly. We're not like, you know, I get asked to do acoustic things all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do some other songs. Can't do Death. Can't do that, you know.
That would be pretty weird, yeah.
Right? And
yeah, it definitely, yeah. I don't know. I don't think it would translate. Yeah.
I would be interested if you went full out on it. That would be insane.
Right? And
we're doing that after
I would watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I would watch that. So
that's awesome. And I do have some things in the works on the way, but I just kind of kept Death by Stereo out of it, and it's just going to be me playing music. But so we shot our first music video, but we shot an animated video because we couldn't get anywhere near each other, and different people in our band may have, you know, elderly family members they have to be around and help all the time, or immunocompromised family members. We had to be really careful. And then for the second video, we had to shoot a second video, and how are we going to do this? So our bass player came up with this crazy genius idea. He lives out in the desert in the middle of nowhere, and he built this giant wooden frame in the desert, you know, post hole, put it in the ground, and we were in these separated squares with plastic covering. We were all separate, and the whole video was just us as silhouettes, you know. So we were like, how cool, let's make another video we're not actually in, because, you know, it's not like we're spring chickens here and anybody wants to see our face. And we shot that video, and then for the third video we had to figure out how to do it again, and our guitar player JP directed and shot that video, and he basically came up with the idea of, all right, we're gonna each one of us go into an isolated room one at a time, And we literally shot that separate, but he edited it together to be kind of cohesive, and it has the feel that we're all playing together. And so we did that, and then we said, well, how do we solve the live problem? And then Kathy came along with the idea for us to do the live stream, and we'd seen other people doing live streams. And I actually saw a really cool live stream with the band Great White, the metal band. And they're awesome. And like, go Great White. And I just thought it was cool. And, you know, the Dropkicks did it on their massive level, you know, but
I saw both of theirs. Yeah, they were great.
Yeah. And the one thing that I just couldn't wrap my head around, though, was the energy exchange, you know. And I did notice that it felt like it was kind of awkward for some of the musicians playing it. I could see it, you know, and knowing some of these guys, like in these different bands doing it, I was like, God, that must have been hard, you know. And you're just playing for a camera, and it's strange. And so that's, like I was saying earlier, we just realized we have to rely on our own passion for the music and our friendship and our love for each other and the energy we exchange between each other, and get back to that feeling of being in a garage. And we also had to really get deeply into that emotion with the music, I guess you'd say, because this is going to be on a really big stage with all these things like all around us, and it's like you know, so it's like a stage show that you would see similar to someone like Mastodon having, you know, this amazing, crazy stuff going on. And when we had these production meetings with the company, I was like, yo, we're like a hardcore punk thrash band. Like, we're not really accustomed to this stuff. Like, like, we're not even going to really talk that much. We just want to blast through as many songs as we can and just let it rip. And so they were like, all right, I guess we got to figure out how to make our things work around you. And I was like, cool. And so we kind of have this symbiotic thing going, and it's really interesting. The production aspect of it, the emphasis on safety is incredible. The location they have, it's a company called Gallagher Staging. They do all the staging for festivals like Lollapalooza and all the production and all that. And they basically set up all of their stuff in this warehouse because they're all out of jobs too.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're just going to set it up and use it and start throwing shows. So they had amazing DJs like the Gas Lamp Killer and some other incredibly talented people. And they made it happen. So this is kind of the first time they're making it happen for, I guess, aggressive music. And they've come up with some amazing ideas, and they basically explained to us, like, you guys are going to come in the morning, set this thing up. They're going to sterilize the entire place before we even get in there. We're not going to be anywhere near any of the crew that's working. They're each separated in their own area. They have a minimal crew. No one's allowed in there. Like, we're not going to have like any bros hanging out like, hey, what's up, you know? And they sterilize it. We go in there. They do all our temperature checks. We bring the equipment in. We have a couple techs with us. They sterilize all the equipment. Then we're going to be running sound checks and just dialing in everything from the lights to the LED walls, everything to do with that. And then after we sound check and warm up, we leave. They re-sterilize everything. Then we go back. It's really crazy, but they're doing everything they can. I got to give it up. Hats off to Social Sanctuary. Tag them in this when you post.
Okay.
But, like,
that sounds amazing.
Man,
yeah,
I'm excited to hear that you're
Yeah,
going
I'm really
like, and
excited.
ripping hard, because that's been like the thing that's been missing. You know, we see the live streams, and it's just not quite, you know, know that I'm watching you, know that I'm listening to you, know that I want you
we're
to
gonna
bring
be
it.
giving the
I want
energy.
you to bring it. I know you won't be able to like scream right in my face, but in spirit you will be.
We just got to go hard and like, you know, like we do when we play live. I mean, we never leave the stage without something hurting and us being in a pool of sweat, you know?
That's what makes it so good.
I've had it on my body. I know.
Yeah. It's so funny to me to listen to you talk about sterilization, like them sterilizing equipment at a hardcore. Like, I'm like just remembering every venue I've ever been to and the bathrooms I have used in my life where I'm like, has it ever been cleaned? I probably not. Like, yeah, so it's just we're so out of our realm now. It's so funny. I have a follow-up question. You were talking about how this new album is the band just being like, we're going to do what we want to do and just like focusing on that. How is that different from your previous releases?
We've always flown the flag for individuality and being yourself at all costs, you know, and after, you know, a time, you know, we ended up getting on these different labels that were so much bigger, and we got put into this bigger realm and playing these giant shows, these giant tours, and then it starts to, it's almost like even if you are just being yourself and being honest with your art, everyone around you starts turning into these like expectations and these it's like a business, you know, and you have responsibilities to people and different things, and there's all these aspects of it that come into it that I just don't like, you know, but it's, I know it's life, you know, and like that in any art career, and we never let it define us or decide how we wrote our music, how we created our imagery or our art or presented ourselves, but we just didn't want to have any no weight on us. Like, no, you know, I don't want to, we're not here to please anyone but ourselves, and like the whole point of this is to make the music you want to hear, you know, and send a message and strike a chord and make people think. And I know we've always strived to do that, but with the way things are in the world right now, we had to go harder. We had to push harder. And I really looked at it as I feel like, especially now, these are really divisive times, and it's kind of like you're in or you're out. I mean, there's no fence sitting in our world anymore, and not that we ever had a place for that, but in the world there's a lot of fence sitting, and I really wanted this record to let everyone know, like, yo, choose a side. You're either with us or you're against us. And you know, we've always spoken up for what we believe in, but I feel like we had to make the message a lot clearer, because apparently there's a lot of people that like our band that we're grateful for, but we've discovered over time, dude, you know what? I appreciate that you like my band, but I don't need to see you ever again, you know?
Yeah.
Because you believe in some fucking bullshit, you know? And you never listen to the lyrics, you never listen to all of our favorite bands, everything we've been screaming, all the, like Uniform Choice said, we're screaming for change, and there's a bunch of people trying to roll that back. And you know, I saw a meme the other day. I don't know if you've ever seen the old punk film Suburbia, old punk movie from the 80s called Suburbia, and there's these punkers, and they catch shit everywhere they go. Everything they do is a fight. And in the movie, one of the antagonists is this, you know, hunting kind of good old boy, blah blah blah, and the meme showed a picture of the punkers from the movie, and this is who you were, and then they showed the picture of the antagonist, and like, this is who you became, you know. And I'm seeing that, you know. I've had someone, when protests started going down, we put up a post saying, you know, basically, everybody out there, we support you, and be safe and be smart while you're out there protesting, because we 100% support it, and we 100% believe Black Lives Matter. And I just, in that statement saying be safe and be smart, we had a fan write us, lighting us up. You guys are a bunch of fucking commies, fuck you, all this crazy shit. And we're not the biggest band, you know what I mean? We don't reach as many people as some other bands, but to hear someone say that to me, I was just like, really, man? Like, this whole time you didn't get this message from us the whole time? So maybe I need to make it very clear, you know? And
yeah,
you know, and I do respond to everyone. I get back to everyone I can, sometimes slow, and I responded to him, and I was just like, hey man, you know, let's talk about this. You know, you're calling me a commie, that's fair. Let's discuss it. what brand of communism do you think I fit into? Let's talk about communism. Do you even know what communism means? And I asked the questions and I got no reply.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? You know, but I'll tell you what, I am not a communist. I have great friends that lived through it. And I don't think wanting to be free and wanting people to live and be happy and healthy and wanting Black lives to matter makes me a communist.
No.
That was like the crazy thing, you know, like, dude. And I believe in that. My life can't matter till Black lives matter. You know, dude, Black lives are the beginning. Black lives will be the end.
Yeah.
And in history, everyone on this planet will be Black. Everyone will be one. And there's no avoiding it, and embrace it because it's beautiful. And we love everybody. We love all cultures, all creeds. We love everyone. But we do recognize that, dude, no one matters until Black lives matter. It just is. And it's crazy that, you know, the racism's always been there. Everyone's always been there. I think it's just more prevalent, and it's on the internet, and we have a president that's given these people a voice. And I try to practice as much understanding as I can. If I was a person from an isolated area in the country and I was very, very poor and I was shit on my whole life, I don't have a job, there's no clean water to drink in my city, and the rich guy from TV tells me, hey, fucking, I'm going to make sure you get rich too, and you're going to have jobs. Everything's going to be great. And the reason you don't have any of this is because of the Mexicans. I understand why that guy believed it, because he doesn't know any better. And it doesn't make it right. And I try to practice understanding, and I understand why some people are like that. But we need to make sure they know that it's not like that. And we need to be really loud and really clear, you know? And and then there's a lot of other people that are just spewing pure hate and ignorance, and they can walk off a fucking bridge and fuck off and die, whatever, you know, but the Klan and everyone associated with them, and they have a voice. And I'm here in Orange County, and we are surrounded by so many cultures here and so many different walks of life. And it's beautiful, but there is just a mob of people here that, think they're fighting for their freedom. And I'm just like, you don't know what fighting for freedom is. You've never lived anywhere on dirt floors with no electricity. You didn't live through communism. And if you think this is communism right now, dude, wait till you really have some fucking real problems, you know? Like,
you're hitting all my favorite topics. My family is from Russia, so I've lived from. So it's been so crazy for me also to watch people compare it to stuff, or even say things that are in like support of communism without like knowing the history of some of like the countries that had it. And it's just like, it's been like, I feel like I'm living in my own crazy mind this whole year, because you'll just go on the internet and then you're just like, am I crazy, or is everyone else crazy? Like every day I'm just like,
and you're right, everyone else is crazy.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we settled it.
Exactly. And we've been very fortunate to be given this gift of music that allowed us to go all over the world. And we've played through many countries that have lived through communism. We played in Caracas, Venezuela, while they were still under during Chavez, you know what I mean? And like when they were in the heat of Chavez, just fucking ruining everybody. And seeing it firsthand, it people have no fucking idea. And there's like these Botoxed out ladies that are like, oh, I'm fighting for my freedom. You fucking don't know what it means to fight for freedom. You never fought for fucking anything in your goddamn lives. And you're scared because your Botox might get fucking taken away. And I hope it does, so you fucking shoot yourself when you can't take it. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, you know? So I think we are strong, and we've seen it. We're all uniting. Black, white, brown, yellow, red. Everyone here is together. We're all in this together, and we can make this a beautiful place for all of us. And when I say make this a beautiful place, not just this country, the world. And that's something everybody's all about. God bless America, America this, America that. I haven't been to any country in the 35 countries I've been to on this planet. I've never seen any country with this many fucking flags all over the place. It's like a flag frenzy. And I joke with my mom about it because we'll see somebody flying by in their big, giant, like, tough guy truck with the American flag flying out of it. I always look over at my mom. Hey, Mom, I can't remember. What country are we in? If there was only a way. If there was only a way, somebody could remind me what country we're in. You know, she just laughs. And, you know, it's just so funny.
That's amazing.
Oh,
But
we
you know what?
promised. Oh,
Yeah.
I was just saying, we promised to let you go at some point. I didn't want to keep you forever.
Yeah.
No
But
sweat.
you got a million things to talk about. I mean, you're involved in a ton of things. Death by Stereo is the big one right now.
Right.
But
Yeah, and then you're also in like VOODOO GLOW SKULLS, MANIC HISPANIC, right? And then you're playing Dirty Black Summer, and you have a podcast. How do you do it all? What do you sleep, or what's your secret?
I hate myself.
Okay.
But, no, Dirty Black Summer is really close to my heart. It's really special. My great friend Christine Doan, we call her Christine Danzig, she started this Danzig and Misfits Tribute band over a decade ago, and it's always been a thing that's just kind of happened in Orange County and LA, and sometimes they'd go to Vegas or different places and play shows, and our friends were always in this band, and then Dan from Death by Stereo became involved a decade ago or something, and then way down the line they needed a bass player, and I used to go to every Dirty Black Summer show and sing along to every Danzig and Misfits song. I love them so much, and I was like, can I try out to be the bass player? You know, and so I got in the band, and it was like, it's a huge deal for me. So I love Dirty Black Summer. It's one of the funnest bands ever. The lineup as it is right now, it's me on bass, Dan by Stereo on guitar, Cassie that has played in Union 13, the Glam Skanks, she's in the Venomous Pinks, she's the drummer, and our great friend Christine, who's been in a bunch of OC bands, in a band that we all really loved in the 90s called Pale Fire. They were really cool. She's an incredibly talented singer, and so I feel lucky to be a part of that, and we do it when we can. And Manic Hispanic, I joined in 2008, and they were also just the funnest band in Orange County, and a band I loved since the 90s. I was at their second show they ever played. I'm like mega fan, super fan, and over the years I got to meet some of the members, and then ended up becoming friends with them, and it was surreal. And on Warped Tour 02, they were on Warped Tour for like a couple weeks or something like that, and we all kind of broed down, and I kept nerding out, and years later they asked me to be in the band, and I just couldn't believe it. And Manic Hispanic has a lot going on too. All the Manic records are out of print. They're not even on Spotify. It's a very obscure thing, and for a long time we've been trying to get them back and make them work, and it's going to happen. They will become available. There was a couple of vinyl reissues on Indecision Records, but nothing digitally, and it's being worked on. But regardless of that, we would just play a show, and people just come, and they came, and they still come out, and it's incredible, and it's a great family. We had a rough few years. In the last few years, we lost a couple bandmates, and we kept pushing forward. We had made this record, and then we lost the second of two bandmates, and it really set us back. And then we recharged ourselves and said, we can do this, and we were going to put the record out, and then COVID happened and the record got delayed, but the record's in the works. It's getting pressed, so there's going to be a new Manic Hispanic record. The new one will be out and on all platforms before the old ones are. We're really excited about it. The record's called Back in Brown. And
yeah. I love it.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Manic Hispanic is a parody band. We take our favorite punk songs and retheme them and change the lyrics into being basically just humor and jokes. It's kind of like if Cheech and Chong was punk, and we make jokes about, basically growing up being Mexican kids in the punk scene in Orange County, then ooh, 3 years. Has it been 3 years already? Ooh, 3 years. VOODOO GLOW SKULLS needed a singer, and I stepped in, and they were gracious enough to allow me to be in their band, and they're also one of my favorite bands ever, you know, and I feel so lucky. I can't believe any of this is real. VOODOO, we've been working on songs over the last 3 years, but we've been touring a lot of that time too. I've just been hopping from band to tour to tour to tour to tour. So that's why it's taken so long for even Death by Stereo or VOODOO to have new stuff. But we're diligently working on songs still. We've done a lot of great touring with VOODOO. We have stuff coming on the horizon. We had a lot of stuff canceled as well, but it's all going to come back, and we're doing it. And VOODOO, I'm proud to be part of the VOODOO family, and I'm grateful for everyone in my life that's let me express myself, be creative, and allowed me to be a 45-year-old guy that gets to jump around and yell at people. You know,
Pretty cool.
Yep. Have you ever said no to anybody?
You know, it's funny. I don't, and it's actually got me in a lot of trouble. It's got me in a lot of trouble because I definitely overextend myself, and I get caught up, and I'm like, oh God, I got two things at once. I mean, there's literally been times where I'm like, I have to play 2 different festivals in one day, and I have to drive 2 hours in between my sets. Well, I've done Death by Stereo, did an entire European tour, and I remember we were in Germany, and we played our last show, and I drove after the set like an hour to an airport, got on an airplane, flew straight to LA, got in a car, drove straight to Santa Barbara, and played a MANIC HISPANIC show. So I never stopped. I never quit. I never sleep, like you were saying.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm always tired, but it's great. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I will do this till my body physically won't allow me, and then I'll keep yelling at people in a wheelchair or whatever the fuck I got to do. You know, I just can't not do this. It's just in my bones. And I at this point have made so many beautiful friends all over the world, and I love seeing them all, and I'm so grateful that I get to see my friends, you know, once every couple of years when I make the round on the planet, you know, and I just so grateful. And I will say Death by Stereo just changed my life, and there's a few people I can honestly credit with changing my life forever. Obviously my family, because I couldn't have done any of this without my family support. But you know, meeting Paul Miner, our original bass player, we met in the pizza pub at the college by my house where I used to skate to see punk bands play. And I met him there in the pizza pub, and he had a little 4-track tape recorder, and I had like my first punk band. And you come over, I can record your music. Oh, really? You have a studio? Meeting him, he taught me about a lot about music. And then from him, we met Dave, who owns Indecision Records. And then a year later, after making that record, Brett from Epitaph reached out to us. It was like a dream. I mean, I'd been to every Bad Religion show in LA that they had. It was insane to me. And I really credit those 3 guys with sending me around the planet. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would be, because I'll tell you what, I certainly wasn't really excelling in school and or showing up, you know, and I'm skating and trying to figure out what life was, working whatever job, and just, you know, I had no path. I was just kind of like a lost person, and all I loved was music. And you know, whatever, like any punk kid, whatever, I had a super troubled childhood, troubled youth, super troubled, and that was the only thing I had that spoke to me, was sitting by myself. I didn't want to be around people. I just wanted to go to shows, and I wanted to sit alone in a room and listen to records. That's all I did, you know. And
you know, it's funny. When I interviewed you like 19 years ago, I think I asked you, like, what are you going to do if you're not doing music? And you're like, I don't know. And then I remember at the time you had like an Ask EFREM section of your website where it was like a Q&A, and we ended up talking about diarrhea. So, I mean, 20 years later, look at us now, man.
And we're talking about diarrhea
Again, just on a different format. Yeah.
So
I just
funny.
thought, you made it. You made the career. At the time, 19 years ago, you didn't know, and look at you now. You're doing tons of shit.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. I honestly, if you would have asked me when I was 15 what I'd be doing in 2020, I would tell you that, the Earth won't exist in 2020. The bomb would
You're
have already,
close.
the war will have already happened.
Yeah.
Like, I really believe that. I was like, dude, no one's going to be around. Whatever, I'm just going to skate. Like.
So basically, you predicted the COVID pandemic before.
Yeah.
You were like, no, none of us are making it out of this year alive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe any of this is real, man. I just always knew that I had a disdain for the system. I knew things were wrong in the world, and I always wished I had a voice. And I'm so grateful that on the level, however big or small it may be, that I have a voice and that anyone listens at all. I am eternally grateful. I can't believe it. It's surreal.
Well, the new album is We're All Dying Just in Time. It's coming out August 7th. August 4th, CD release party, deathbystereo.veeps.com. I just wanted to make sure I threw out the shout out.
And anything else you want to mention before you go, like you're in whatever websites, other things, anything else?
You want to find out about Death by Stereo stuff? It's still deathbystereo.com. Still exists. And we're on all the social medias. VOODOOGLOWSKULLS.com. Manic Hispanic is on Instagram and Facebook. Dirty Black Summer is on Instagram. Every link you can find on my Instagram page. And honestly, I just thank you guys for
doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
Letting me talk to you, because there's a big part of me still that's like, why does anyone give a shit what I'm fucking saying? And
you're our first guest. You're the first guest of our podcast, so no.
Thank you. That's incredible.
And you're the first one we asked. So
I've had your armpit sweat on my forehead, so we have a connection. We're basically family at this point.
We are, and I will say this: it's funny you bring that up. Before you go, I'll leave you with this thought. I did say this because we don't know where the future lays. I do know things are going to be different at venues. Capacities, what you can do, moshing, all that stuff. Everything's changed. We will still have the energy. We'll still be able to share ideas. But I will say that people like us, I'm very privileged that we are possibly one of the last generations that got to be part of the great pile-on. I was able to do cannonball dives off of high things into just sweaty masses of kids.
Yeah.
And sorry for everyone I took out doing cannonballs. I was kind of a dick back in the day. I'm a much nicer stage diver now. But I'm just grateful for having that experience. And thank you to anyone who ever listens or comes or has or any of the musical projects I'm a part of. I'm grateful. Thank you. It literally means everything to me. And I just hope that this keeps going so other dirt kids that had nowhere to go, that were just sitting on the curb with a skateboard, could do the same things that I've done, and just keep it going. Don't let this die. Like punk rock, man, this is the NBA for losers, dude.
I like that.
Except none of us get rich, but
no.
Who gives a flying fuck?
We also don't care.
We don't care. That's what's great rock. Punk rock don't care.
No.
Don't care.
Yeah, like literally, I'm always like, oh, what have I done with my life? And I'm like, yeah, there are people who are like a lot further. And then I'm like, oh, but I have so many cool stories that they just don't.
Dude, exactly. You know what? Like the great prolific band of Veil. They always said it, poor, ugly, happy. That's me. You know what I mean? Everyone else, I'm sure, but poor, ugly, happy. I mean, it's true. And you know what? Punk rock, take it as far as you can. I don't care. Die broke. Let's just keep this alive. The music, the message, it's all that matters. The music and the message is all that matters to me and all I care about for life, But thanks, guys, for being so cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you as well.
We will
it's
let
nice
you
to
know.
see you both.
Yeah. And we'll see you at, well, we'll be watching
We'll be watching.
the record release, and hopefully see you again at a show.
Yeah, that'd be
whenever
nice.
that happens.
Next
We'll be
year.
there.
We
I'm-
have
I'm like
so much on the horizon.
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be back out as soon as they allow us.
Oh.
All these shows are being rebooked. We're going to
Yeah.
be back. All the bands will be back out. All the bands will have
I
new
am
records.
going to go to more shows. I mean, I've already tried.
We'll
but
hunt
I'm
you
like,
down.
Yeah, it's going to be
Please.
like, yeah,
And
'cause-
stay in touch with me. You know, stay in
Yeah.
touch. Say hi. You know what I mean?
we will.
We're pretty much family now. It's
That's
been a lot of
right.
years.
That's true. That is true. You have jumped on us, so
Yeah, let's do this again sometime when I have.
We'll do.
You know what I mean? When COVID's over, we'll barbecue.
All right, over and out, man.
Love you guys. I'll see you soon.